This is Just P, and this is Adventures of Stand-Up on a Budget. This is where I chase laughs, spend more than I earn, and I watch the petrol prices like their stocks on the exchange market. Now, this isn't advice or even wisdom. This is just my thoughts and stories from relatable, ridiculous journey by a stand-up comedian trying to make it, one dodgy gig at a time. The gig I didn't see coming. Bruv, last night was one of them gigs. You know the ones. You leave your house not having a clue what you're walking into. Could be 2 people and a dog, or it could be 400 people and a drunk auntie in the front row. You just don't know. This evening, I pulled up to the venue thinking, please let this be a proper setup. And to be fair, it looked good. Like, suspiciously good. Lights, posters, decent sound. I was like, alright, this actually might be alright, you know. Then I clocked the food. Bro, the food looked good. Like, dangerously good. You ever see that food look so nice, you start thinking about your life choices? I was like, forget the gig, let me get a plate of this and retire now. Anyway, I walk in and you can just feel the vibe straight away. That mix of excitement and nerves, people pretending to be confident, others low-key panicking. It's a classic green room atmosphere. Misplaced self-confidence and unnecessary anxiety all swirling around together. You've got the one comic pacing up and down like he's about to do a boxing match. There's another comic whispering jokes to himself like he's rising for his GCSEs. There's me, sitting there acting all chilled, but inside I'm praying, please let them laugh at least one of my jokes. And of course, the MC. There's always one in it. For This Is My Show MC, jumps up on stage. All right, people, how you doing, you cunts? You ready for the next act? The crowd goes, yep. And he goes, cool. But before that, and then he does 5 minutes of his own material. Fam, he was up there like he was auditioning for Live at the Apollo. But I can't lie, the gig was such a vibe. As soon as I hit the stage, I felt it. Proper energy, good crowd, familiar faces nodding along, and the laughter started coming early. You know that feeling when a joke landed, you're like, yes, we're in. Everything just flowed. And after a couple of people came up saying nice things, one person even said to me, yo, you're my second favourite comedian of the night, which is British compliment. A bit like saying, you're good, but not as good as the ones on TV. Then after headliner smashed it, he's like, guess who's back? Yep, the MC again. 15 minutes of just one more last story. At this point, I was like, bro, please wrap it up. Some of us got to go work in the morning. Anyway, I left the venue on a high, buzzing, thinking, right, I've earned myself a nice meal, something proper, a bit of chicken, maybe some rice. I don't know, something with a bit of seasoning. Then reality kicks in. It's late, I'm starving, and here begins the eternal struggle, trying to find food that isn't McDonald's. I'm driving around like, surely there's a 24-hour place somewhere. Nope. Every option closed. And then I see it, the Golden Arches. I swear they go differently at night. You know when you're hungry and it's just like, they're there, they're calling you, come on. Now you're coming in there anyway. I'm fighting it. I'm like, nah, not tonight. Drive past one, drive past another. Stay focused, P, you can do it. Third one, next one, no. I didn't realise I'm in the queue. So there I am, sat in a car, ordering the same thing I always order. Fries and a milkshake. And I'm sitting here eating it thinking, why do I do this to myself? Every single time. Tell yourself you won't do it, but McDonald's. It's just unnecessary evil, innit? Ultimate post-gig punishment. You don't want it, you don't need it, but it's just fair. By the time it's done, I'm basically spent the last of my gig money on petrol and McDonald's. That's comedy life for you though, bruv. You perform for 20 minutes, drive over for 2 hours, and end up paying for your own regret. Still, I can't lie, it's one of those nights that remind you of why you do it. The crowd, the chaos, the nerves, the fun. You walk in not knowing what to expect, but when it hits, yeah, it hits. And that's it, my friends. Gig I didn't see coming. Next time I'll tell you about a gig where the mic didn't work, and the stage was made out of beer crates. One guy kept heckling me in sign language. But that's it for another night. Just be out. The search for the next gig. Right, so remember last time I told you about that gig what actually went well? Yeah, that was alright. That was a moment. But the next day, straight back to the grind. See, comedy don't give you no time to enjoy the win. You wake up feeling good, thinking, yeah man, I can do this. And when you go back online, open Facebook, and then it hits you. Everywhere you look, gigs. Promoters hosting, comics posting, people saying, what a great crowd last night. Then 10 blow photos and one grainy clip, but you can't even hear the punchline. And I'm sitting here thinking, how did they get that gig? You even scroll, and you just feel a combination of pride and pure jealousy. Like, yeah man, big up to them smashing it, but also, what do I have to do to get on that gig? So now I'm on a comedy scavenger hunt, trawling Facebook groups like a detective, scrolling through posts that say, looking for acts for a new night in the back of a pub, unpaid, but need good experience. And I'm like, bruv, I've got experience, I just need petrol money. Then I start messaging acts, yo bro, you done that gig in Nottingham, what was it like? And they always say the same thing, yeah, it's good when it's good. What does that even mean? I start saying, yeah, food's nice, if I've got any left. But that's the game, innit? Trying to find that one gig, for one with a real audiences, and not just 7 comics laughing out of politeness, and that barmaid who's seen it all before. You want that night where it's packed and people are actually paying attention. You actually feel like you're doing what you came to do. You see other people getting those gigs, and that voice in your head starts chatting nonsense like, maybe you're not good enough. Maybe your style's too weird. Maybe you're just crap. And then I have to check myself. I make people laugh. I do things different. But then again, am I too different? It's like being at a party where everyone's wearing suits and you've turned up wearing a tracksuit bottoms. Like, yo, just being myself. The mental gymnastics is mad. You're trying to stand out. You're trying to be authentic. But there's always pressure for you to fit in. Should I be doing one-liners? Storytelling? Or observational stuff? Or am I supposed to be that type of comic? When really I just want to be me. But sometimes being you feels like the long route, innit? And don't even get me started on travel. You want to take the next step up the comedy ladder? Better gigs, bigger rooms, but at what cost? Literally, at what cost? Because right now I'm watching the petrol prices like they're the stock exchange. I swear I've done so many miles I could start giving the AA directions. Every service station looks the same. Every coffee tastes like regret. And the playlist, finished. Done. I've rinsed it to death. I heard the same song so many times I'm harmonising with a sat-nav now. And even TalkSport has become my therapy now. I just need human voices that aren't in my head arguing about gig strategy. It's mad though. This weird life we choose, every comic chasing the same thing, the next good room, the next proper crowd, the next moment that makes all the hours on the road worth it. But between all that scrolling and doubting and comparing yourself, you forget the reason why you started, to make people laugh, to say something real, to be you. And when you do get on stage and you hear that first proper laugh, it's like, yeah, this is it. This is why I do this nonsense. Still, I won't lie, the hustle can do your head in sometimes. One day you're killing it, next day you're wondering if you'd start a podcast about how broke you are. Oh, wait, that's exactly what this is. Anyway, I got a gig after all that scrolling. I finally land one. Host tells me, yeah, it's a great room, great crowd, nice setup. And get there, and the stage is made out of beer crates. The mic doesn't even work. The man at the front is heckling me in sign language. And I thought, you know what? Maybe Talksport wasn't so bad after all. But we move. Always. Because the grind doesn't stop. And who knows, maybe the next one's that gig. For one, it reminds me that I'm not crazy for chasing this life. The Joke Factory. You ever hit that point in a comedy where you tell yourself, right, no more of the cycle bits, I'm writing new jokes. Yep, I said that 2 months ago, and now my phone looks like the evidence folder from a Netflix true crime documentary. I've been writing everything down, from taking notes, doing voice recordings, taking random photos of things that I might find funny later. I've got screenshots of tweets, photos of signs, a 5-second audio clip of a bloke sneezing weirdly. If a stranger found my phone, they'd either think that this man is a comedian or he's planning on doing something really, really dodgy. Now I'm stuck with hundreds of ideas and nowhere to test them. The thing is, writing new jokes is the easy bit. Finding people to tell them to, that's the real challenge. I'll start saying, I was thinking the other day, they're like, oh no, here we go again, he's going to tell us another shit joke. I'll be like, could be if you just let me finish. Even my family, to a stage where everything I say to them is a joke. I'll be like, Mum, my car broke down. She'll be like, haha, no, seriously, I'm stranded on the A46. Finally, I get a gig. I'm excited, confident, and buzzing to try out my new stuff. The only problem is, the acts who went on stage before me was telling the same type of jokes. Like, I had this bit about in the UK needing ID for porn. It's clever, it's sharp, I'm so proud of it. The first act mentioned it. The second act does 5 minutes on it. By the time I'm on, I'm like, I can't make this trilogy. So I scrap it. Then I remember, this is a corporate charity gig for disabled athletes. And one of my new bits, a social commentary on the Paralympics. Now listen, depending on who you ask, it's either bold or a career suicide. Do I risk it or do I go for it? What if they love it? What if I get cancelled? Because one wrong move, one slightly dodgy joke, and the Facebook comedy forums will finish you. They have a full thread, did you hear what P said? Comment section of angry emojis and one bloke going on, I was at a gig, it wasn't even funny, people walked out. And before you know it, I'm trending for all the wrong reasons. Like a footballer walking out of brothel with a pensioner on the back page of a Sun. So yeah, I didn't do the Paralympic bit. I bottled it. It's hard enough to get gigs in the first place. I just did my safe material, smiled, made them laugh, left quietly. But that's the grind, innit? Sometimes you might just live to gig another day. The voice that qualifies me. Have you ever had someone accidentally change the way you see yourself? Not in a deep spiritual way, more like they just say something mad and you think, hold on, that actually makes sense. I'll give you an example. So I'm at this gig, right? Another one of those nights, long drive, weird venue, good crowd though. And one of the comics, lovely bloke, funny guy, clearly disabled. He even talks about it in his set. He owns it. And do you know what? I respect that. Now, after the show, we were chatting, and he says to me, I saw your set, mate. You do know you're one of us, right? I looked at him, confused. One of who? He's like, well, you got that speech thing, right? You're in the club, disabled club. Now, usually, if someone said that to me, I'd be offended. Because let's be real, people have definitely taken a piss out of how I talk. But for some reason, when he said it, it didn't feel like an insult. It actually felt like a privilege, and he had just knighted me. He'd given me something I didn't even realise I needed. Permission just to own it. See, I've always had this complicated relationship with my voice. It's my weapon, but sometimes it feels like a flimsy one. Not the sharpest sword in the fight, more like a bendy one from a pound shop. People don't always hear what I'm saying, or they just misunderstand the words. Some just hear the difference and go, what did he say? Others just mimic it. And look, I can take a joke. I'm a comedian, but sometimes it gets tiring being the punchline before I've even started my set. But here's the thing. I've realised English isn't my actual first language. My first language is mumble. And bruv, I'm fluent at it, at a proper native level. Every word I speak has to go through quality control before it leaves my mouth. I'm thinking about pronunciation, volume, projection, and remembering to open my mouth properly, which apparently is a full-time job within itself. And that's before I even mention about my lisp. So yeah, it's a process. My words are like little soldiers marching out one by one, trying not to trip each other out on the way out. There will always be haters, always someone ready to clip a bit, share it, and then talk nonsense in the comments. But honestly, that's fine. I'm not hiding anymore. This is my voice, and this is me. It is actually part of the reason why I started doing comedy in the first place. Because for years I stayed quiet. I didn't want to draw attention to how I sounded. I didn't want to give anyone a reason to laugh at me. Now I'm up there saying, you will hear me, even if you have to lean forward and squint a bit, just to do so. I spent so long trying to fix my voice, and really I just needed to accept it. Yep, I still want to speak clearly, and I've stopped apologising for it. But because of this floppy weapon of mine, I swing it proudly, bruv. Like a 50-year-old man swinging his latest erection. And for the record, no, I'm not 50 yet. There was a time I didn't think my speech was bad enough to counter the disability. Like, if it was official, if someone labelled me, I'd be protected from the jokes. But life doesn't work like that, does it? You can't get a blue badge for self-esteem. That comic said to me, you're one of us. It hit differently. Because the first time, someone wasn't pointing at it to mock me. They were pointing at it just to say, bruv, you belong. And that was a gift. And every time someone mentions my voice or tries to make it a thing, I just think, this is me. This is how I sound. If you don't get it the first time, ask me again or listen harder. Because this voice, this lisp, this mumble, this mix of chaos and character, it's a part of my story. It makes me different to everyone else. It is the thing that makes me step out of the shadows and onto the stage. And every word that I speak now, every laugh that I earn, every gig I survive, just makes the victory a little bit more sweeter. Now, that's the end of this part. I know we got a little bit deep there, but it's just something I thought I needed to discuss with everyone. So yeah, this is the story of a man with a mic and a voice that refuses to shut up. Just be out. Built my own stage. You know what's mad? I used to say, I will never, ever, ever run my own gig. I told everyone, that's not for me. I'll just turn up, tell my jokes, get my petrol money, and disappear hopefully before someone asks me to move the chairs. But here we are. I did it. I've got my own room. My name's on the poster. It's my mic, my room, my audience. And I'll tell you this, it feels so sweet. For years I was chasing gigs like a lost Uber driver, trawling Facebook, messaging promoters, often not getting a response, watching other comics get those juicy spots, thinking, yeah, he's good, but I'm good too, right? And then doubting myself. Wonder if it's because I'm too different? But you know what? Difference built this. I stopped begging and built a place where people asked to be booked by me. I made this space where my kind of comedy fits. Best part? No more long motorway drives, listening to TalkSport. No more watching petrol prices go up and down like they are a Bitcoin. No more 1 a.m. McDonald's. Well, not as many anyway. Now, I set the tone. I pick the acts. I control the vibe. This is my audience and they come to see me. They already know my voice and my mumbles. They know all about my list. And guess what? They love it. It's all part of the show. Yes, my crowds are not massive. We're not selling at the O2 yet. But people come. And people who do come, they return. Every month. Same seat, same faces, same laughter that fills the room like home cooking. Let me tell you this. That feeling, that buzz when you step on your own stage and hear the first laugh, trust me people, it hits differently. It's not luck, it's not chance. I've earned this. And now, I've got comics messaging me like, bruv, you got any spots at your night? And I'm like, let me check my diary. I've gone from hoping to be booked to people hoping I'll book them. Now that's growth, that's power, that's pride. Now, I'm not running around the country begging for stage time anymore. I choose my gigs. I can be selective, intentional, I can be confident. I've just not found my home. I've built it, brick by joke, gig by gig. And now I've got a little comedy village, a place where being different isn't weird, it's actually wanted. This is mine, and honestly, it feels like the start of something bigger. When I started Adventures of a Stand-Up on a Budget, I didn't know if anyone would care. And to be honest, I still don't know if people do. I just want to share what it really feels like. The grind, the doubt, the bad gigs, and the small wins. From walking into a room not knowing if there'd be 2 people in the audience or 200, to eating another late night McDonald's in the car, cracking every life choice I've ever made, to now standing in a room that I built with people who came out just to laugh with me. This series has been about a journey, finding confidence in a chaos, finding rhythm in a rejection, and finding a pride in the voice that some people said didn't fit. Well, guess what? It fits perfectly now because this room, this stage, this sound, they were built for my voice. Yes, I'm still doing gigs elsewhere, still out there learning, growing, getting better, but now I get to choose. It's a beautiful feeling because I've not just found my home, I found my village. To everyone who listened, who laughed, to relate to the grind, thank you. You're part of this too. This isn't the end, it's just the end of Series 1. You've been here from the start, from the dodgy MCs and awkward green rooms, the endless Mars and the soggy fries. You know how far we've come. Series 2 is coming, bigger, bolder, hopefully with less McDonald's. I'm Just P, and this has been Adventures of a Stand-Up on a Budget. And this, right here, is proof that when you can't find your stage, you fucking build your own one.